Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stock Market Review. Coach Lodi is here from Luwep Trading. We're about to get straight into it. Once again, the market is melting down, guys. Today's was I warned you guys yesterday. I said I can see today being one of those days that were there would be a lot of suffering based on what I was looking at, right? And that's exactly what we got today. It's unfortunate. I'm not here to say I told you so or any of that, but I'm just letting you guys know this is why we review market analysis. This is why we are technical traders because the technicals really the charts let us know what the market wants to do because the market is talking. That's the language of the stock market. This is the one thing I keep saying to you guys every single time. So big meltdown today. We were down by a lot. That is the only way to describe what happened today. This was a meltdown. The Nasdaq officially entered correction territory as of right now, closing down I think it was an additional 2.3%. So we are now more than 10% from the high. So that means now we are officially in correction territory. All right. So remember, 10 to 20% that's correction, less than 10%, that's a pullback. 20% or more, that is bear territory. Right now, we just entered into correction territory. The S&P 500 also dropped another 1.74%. The Dow lost over nearly 500 points. So every single indices, all the indexes were down today. No matter where you went, unless you went into oil and whatever, everything was down, right? So that, but you know what? We were prepared. If you were here last night, I prepared you guys for what was most likely about to happen. And guess what we did? We have. So we had a few things. Before we get into it, we get into the charts. There's a couple of news items I want to mention to you guys. So, President Trump also had another press conference where he said a couple of things, and you make a decision on what exactly that means. All right. So he's he started the press conference about how Iran was desperate to make a deal, and how Iran asked him to postpone the strikes, which was the strikes on their electrical grid, and then toward the end, he started calling NATO cowards for not coming to help. And he said he has a few countries that's going to come to help. He said there was one. I'm not sure if you're still following me. That's a lot I'm giving you guys. Then he also said Iran needs to make a deal. But then I'm like, okay, well, if they desperately wants to make a deal and they are begging you like dogs, why are you saying they need to stop messing around and make a deal? So if they begging you, that means pretty much they telling you, please, 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 just give me something, I will take it. This is what begging for a deal is. So the market, the way the market interpret that means the likelihood of us actually having a deal, some sort of negotiation, to a ceasefire was slim, and that's the way it was interpreted. And then right there, when he said those things, you can see how the market just nosedive right on these things. All right. Now, before we get any further, guys, I want to let you guys know I appreciate you guys being here. If you are here, make sure to smash the like button for me. Drop me an emoji or whatever it is. Again, I'm going to keep saying that to you guys. Your engagement really helps this channel, and I do appreciate you guys who comes in live every single night that are here. Empire Path, James, Jeff, a few of you guys that I have come to know, seeing on the live seeing on the live every single night. I wanted to give you guys those shout out. But with that being said, before we get into it, I want to remind you guys once again, I am not your financial advisor. Nothing I say here, anything I say here is not a suggestion for you guys to buy, hold, or sell anything. All right. I'm just interested in what the market is saying to me based on technical analysis and how I'm executing. Now, if you are looking to trade, make sure you do your own due diligence or contact a financial advisor if you do not know what you're doing. And keep in mind, that's something trading carries a lot of risk. And that includes loss of capital. So trade carefully. All right, now we get that out of the way. I don't know exactly where we're going with the war. All right. So while we stay apprised, we try to stay connected and know what's going on in the world because again, we are in a market that is driven by headlines. So we need to know what headlines that's possibly going to move the market. All right. Do we trust this headline or what's going to go on? Um, Whenever I'm seeing things now where we have certain hedge fund guys coming out saying oil is going to 250. I'm not buying that right now. These are the same guys that came out and tried to make retail traders believe Bitcoin was going to 750,000 or 500,000. They made retail traders come in and then they dumped all of their Bitcoin on top of retail traders. This is the game they played. Again, I'm going to remind you guys, like I remind you guys yesterday, they think we are dumb money. We are not dumb money. At least not. It was. We were never dumb money, right? We just didn't have enough information. Because way back then, retail traders didn't used to know how to review charts. We didn't have access to level twos. We didn't know the difference between different patterns. Things like that. We did not have access and did not know what was going on. All right. So now retail traders are a lot more sophisticated, right? We can speak to someone about investing, about trading, in a manner that make it seem like almost as if like we went to school for that, right? If when I'm talking about those technical stuff, and I do hope you guys do understand when I'm breaking down the chart, I'm saying I'm using certain terms. If you don't know, you can always ask those questions in the chat. I'll be more than happy to educate you guys because this is an educational channel, all right? So when I'm doing things here, excuse me, I have no issue taking a pause if I use a term you don't know to ask in the chat and whatever, and I'll take a couple seconds just to answer that to you guys. But anyway, so this is what we currently dealing with. So be careful. I do think oil is still going to go up. Yesterday, I reviewed oil yesterday, and I told you guys I was still long oil. It's two things I told you guys. I was long oil, and I closed most of my puts, but I still held some just to see if we have a continued move on the downside. Right? That's the two things I told you guys. So we gotta right before I go into the S&P 500. I want you guys to exactly see what exactly is going on with those two things, those two items I gave you guys. I want you guys to be able to see it. Let me just switch over to the chart. Let's bring our big chart here. So the first thing I told you guys I was in what? XOM. So I told you guys that I was in ExxonMobil. Exo that's ticker symbol XOM. And again, you guys can see that I am in ExxonMobil. For those of you guys who are part of the trading community with me, the paid members, you should have gotten that play. You should already been in profit in that play, that re-entry for today. Let me just clean up this chart a little bit, take a couple of things out real quick. Yeah, so you guys should already been positive on those trades. Again, so you guys can see this is how this is playing out. I'm not gonna spend too much into it. We're not gonna completely break it down. Just wanted to give you a quick thing. So that was the first thing. Now let's start really with the S&P 500. Oh my goodness, what a day that was! What a day that was! What did I told you guys? I always told you guys when we got down, we always somehow go back and retest the previous day's low or the previous day's high. And if I have this right here, let me just erase that real quick. If I just put this, let's say this was the low right there. That was for yesterday. Guess what? We actually went and test the low for yesterday, and then we push right back down. And when I covered these things yesterday, I was telling you guys the market likes to take the path of least resistance. That's what the market likes to do. Path of least resistance. And what I was looking at is most likely what? A drop. Why? Because we were right at resistance level. This is the 4 hour time frame now. I'm in the 4 hour time frame now. I told you guys this is where we were. So the likelihood it would be harder for the market to push through. It would be a lot easier for the market to do that. And what pattern exactly that I told you guys we may have? Most likely we were going to have a what? A double top. And this is exactly what we had today. We had a double top. Now, you can say we still have some legs to maybe get down to about this line. These are the lines I'm looking at. So we still have some legs to do that. But as of right now, I think I only have one contract left as of right now. I only have one. All right. Again, that was a good play. I will wait for the next. If we go down yet tomorrow, I'm closing everything out. All my shorts will be closed out. I'm going to wait for the next opportunity because that's the way I know the market does not go straight down unless there's a terrible news. We're going to have pullbacks. There will be multiple entries. That's just the way it works. All right. And again, what did we end up having? This is the MACD I was telling you guys about. We didn't cross yet, but we were looking like we possibly were going to make a bearish divergence, a lower high in the MACD. We actually had that cross, and that's the result that we had. Going in the 2-hour time frame. Once again, this is the 2-hour time frame we are currently looking at. Okay, I have one of my alerts going up here for the futures. I'm not going to trade the futures, but I did have an alert that just popped up. Okay, let me just fix that. Guys, I want you guys to think about how beautiful all that is. So we were here. I told you guys this is what may happen, and this is where we are. So we have room. This is the room we have. Now, personally, if I'm not already in at this level, I'm not going in right there. Why? I'm gonna let you guys know why. Even though this is not what we do here specifically, but I'm just gonna let you guys know why. This is how I trade. All right. I would not be putting shorts on right here. Why? Because it is possible we may just come right here and this level is used as horizontal support. And then we bounce. We might just do that and then bounce to come here. Right? So this is why I wouldn't do that. What's the second reason? I'm going to show you guys why I would not do that. When you look at this, right? This is how low this is. This is where the MACD was. We almost are near the same level as here, right? Almost the same level, right here and right here, almost the same level. However, this MACD is way up there, meaning there's a high probability that this MACD might cross back up to do that, which would give us a bullish divergence in the MACD, meaning we might have a short-term bullish play. Short-term, we might push up just a little bit. All right, so this is why I don't do things like that, and this is why, again, if we have that continued move, I'm fine with it. But we got straight down to a horizontal support level. I'm taking most of my profit out. This is not a market where I'm trying to make a big bag. I'm okay. I'm okay just getting a little change here and there as long as you're making something. I want you to keep in mind, even if you just made 100, 200 today, you may not see it as much. Guess what? Somebody probably is down like 5 grand today. I'm not talking about like people with big accounts are really getting hammered. I'm talking about the guys that are just like retail traders doing a little trading might be down 800 today or whatever's going on. If you're positive today, be proud of yourself for that. All right. If you're negative, just a little bit, but you did put some hedge on, just like I've been telling you guys, put some hedges on. You know what? Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. I've been telling you guys, I'm putting some hedges on. If you copied what I'm doing, you put some hedge on your stuff. You should be doing. You should have been doing okay. You should not have suffered as much as some people did. All right. Let's go into 30 minutes and see what exactly is this is doing. Once again, as of right now, this seems to just be doing a bit of I would say this is still considered a bear flag. Right now, this is still what we are doing. We still have space to push down. We still have space to push down, but it is possible that we get a bit of a reprieve and go do a retest of this level, breaking retest before we continue down. It is possible. Technically, excuse me, you guys can say maybe we already did it already. Why? If you are looking at this, I want to show you guys something. Now you need to see this in the 1 minute so you can see the shenanigan that happened right after market close. This is what I keep telling you guys. This is a this is a news driven market, headline driven market. So we had this big pop right after market close. I thought there was some ceasefire that was announced. And then when I looked at it, it was just another taco move. If you're not familiar with what the term taco is, this is a Wall Street, actually a Wall Street term that stands for Trump always chickens out. And this is something that goes to when we put the tariffs on, because it was like, hey, as soon as the time is here, the deadline is done to actually put the tariffs on, because he know the tariffs are a bad idea. He's going to push it back, and this is what we've been dealing with for quite some time. So what it did, we were supposed to. I mentioned that in the opening. We were supposed to actually hit Iran's energy grid this weekend. I think it's actually tomorrow morning. We're supposed to do that. But he decided not to do it. He said the Iranians reached out and said, please, 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 Mr. President, give us some time to negotiate and don't do that. The Iranians, those guys, what they've been doing is trolling. So they came out with some memes. They said they didn't talk to anybody. They're not asking anybody for any favor. This is a fight for survival for them, and they are willing to fight to the death. And they are not listening to anybody. But anyway, either way, things didn't get worse, because if those strikes happen, like I told you guys, if those strikes happen, Iran already said they were going to hit desalination plants, and you have countries that there are millions of people who relies on clean drinkable water from those desalination plants in countries like Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, and all those countries. And you're talking about mass refugee crisis all over Europe and America. That's what in the Middle East. That's what was literally was about to happen, and not even counting all the issues with the global supply for LNG, natural gas, and oil, and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that happened. We are grateful for it. But this is what I wanted to tell you guys. When that headline came out, we had this crazy pop. So you could say technically this was a fake retest. So that means we've already, just going back to the point I wanted to make. So you can make the argument that we've already went and retest that level right now. So if we didn't have this big old wick right up there, you guys already know what I was going to say this is. Now, you can still consider it that way technically, but it's not something I would hang my hat on right now, but you could still say this is an inverted head and shoulder pattern. All right? This is still that, but the fact that it has that, I don't know. I don't know how to feel or what to do about that. But anyway, if it does happen, just a reminder: if you're trading the S&P 500, this will be your neckline. You need to watch this as your neckline for a possible push on the way up, which would be 648.26. 648.26. This will be your neckline, and vice versa. If we lose this level, which would be 646.32. You know what? Let's just call it 646. If we lose 646, that move will be null and void. So this is what we currently go looking at with that, and that is again that is the S&P 500. This is what I'm reviewing right now. This is the 30 minutes. Looking at the MACD in the 30 minutes, the MACD is actually printing up, but it is still where? It is still in negative territory. Still in negative territory. And I don't want you guys to forget that. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. So if we popped in the morning, unless we have some breaking news that happened, I'm very confident if we popped in the morning, if we popped and we go up there, either testing these levels, I'm putting shorts on because I'm very confident unless we have some headlines that comes out, we are going to fade into the close. We definitely going to fade. I wanna ask you guys. If you are trading, how confident are you holding anything, holding long calls over the weekend? How confident are you? Unless you somebody who really wants to really take a bet on oil rising, right? So that may be something, right? Or unless you have stocks that are there are multiple stocks that are very attractive right now. Right on top of my head, I can let you guys know I do think Netflix, Microsoft currently are at very attractive levels. Although I'm not touching any of that stuff right now, but they are at attractive levels. If somebody want to start nibbling right now, I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't blame them. But I'm talking about like short dated, like 30 days options. I'm not touching none of that. How confident would you be buying the SPY or the QQQ on a call, getting a call 3 weeks out, 30 days out, over to hold over the weekend? Because there's so much uncertainty we don't know. And when there's an uncertainty, we're not the only one thinking that way. A lot of traders do not want to hold over the weekend, because over the weekend is when a lot of bad stuff happens. With the way things are, people are not going to hold over the weekend. All right, so that's the S&P 500. I'm going to actually let's see. This is the area I was looking at, guys. By the way, this was the area I was looking at right here. If we squeeze right up there, this is what I'm going to do. Let's go right into the Qs. The Qs did pretty much the exact same thing. They are they are following the exact same trend, making the exact same patterns. That's exactly what's happening. And again, guys, this is why I love this is why I love this. Right? What did you guys see here? This is a head. I mean, left shoulder, head, lower right shoulder. Which I always tell you guys, if we have a lower right shoulder, that means we are extremely bearish. And this is the push down we had. We had this big push down. All right. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna go back to the S&P 500 real quick. I just one more thing I wanted to show you guys. I didn't cover that. There's one more thing I did not cover. This level, make sure to mark that on your chart. If we gap down tomorrow, if we gap down tomorrow and we gap down below this level, I want you to watch to see if we go and retest this level and try to see how that reacts right at that level and write it down. This is the way I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. And again, that level is going to be what? Let me just get it perfectly. That's the low. 645. 645. It's almost to a T every single time. If we have something like that, this will be our range. What's the range? If we open in the middle, if we open in the middle, we're most likely going to test one of those areas, right? And when we go to that area, watch to see how price react. Can we break and retest and keep pushing in that direction? If it's up, right? If it's up, can we push here, break, retest, continue to push up? Or if it's a way down, can we break, retest, push back down? Or the other way to look at it, again, there's always two sides to it. We might just go push up, get rejected, and push back down. Or push down, get rejected, and push back up. That's something that is possible. Or a push down, a complete gap down, fill the gap, and then push back down. So these areas will be key areas to watch for tomorrow. So those key areas are going to be 655.20 and 645.21. These are going to be very key areas. I'm watching to see if we revisit those areas. All right. Now let's head right back into the queues. We are right back. Oh my goodness. We are right back into the queues. If you are here once again, guys, don't forget to like, get those likes up for me. Yeah, I'm seeing you guys here, but I'm not seeing those likes. There's those likes up for me. I appreciate you guys. Get those likes up for me. Those likes is how I grow the channel. This is how I do it. All right. Again, this is what I told you guys. Since whenever I've been telling you guys, if we lose this level from where we are, again, we're close below that level. Path of least resistance is a move down. We already went We did that break, retest. That means we're going. We're most likely we're going to plunge down. This is the ultimate level, 559. 559 is from me right now is the ultimate level. Does that mean as soon as the market open tomorrow, Coach Lord is going to jump and buying some shorts, some puts on the cues? No. Why? I'm already in. I'm already in. Right now is not the time to jump in case there's a reversal because a lot of things change, especially when you're dealing with geopolitical issues. A lot can change very, very quickly. We may wake up tomorrow and you hear there's a ceasefire or there's some crazy stuff that happened. You just don't know. Maybe there's a pause, or maybe there's a complete cessation of hostilities, whatever it may be. Some sort of deal is done. So you just never know. All right. Taking a look at the 4 hour time. Oh my goodness! Before I move to the 4 hour time frame, look at this. Look at that selling. This is institutional selling. All right. This is what I'm talking about, guys. That's institution selling. This is the same guys, by the way. I was telling you guys yesterday. These are the same guys that was going on CNBC whining about, oh my God, why isn't retail traders buying more in the market? They losing faith in the American dream. The stock market is where you build wealth and yada yada and all this stuff. Guess what they finally did today? They realized retail traders just not coming to save them. No, again, we are no longer what they consider the dumb money. We were never dumb. You guys kept the information from us. You guys were trading on insider info, and you guys kept all this information from us, right? Now we know how to chart. We know how to read the stock market language. We know how to translate that. We know. We doesn't mean we're going to win all the time, but it also means we have a good probability, a good chance of not losing all the time either. And as a matter of fact, we might win even more than we lose. That's the way it is now. That's the way it is. And I'm so happy with that. This is why I do this. And I do this. I don't just come here and just talk about stocks. I come here and I actually review the charts for you guys because I do want you guys to learn something. I understand if you're watching that, you gotta have some sort of basic level knowledge of technical analysis, right? But this is exactly the kind of people I do this for. If you are watching right now and you have any basis on technical analysis, but maybe you want somebody else to do a little bit of the work, or maybe you want to just compare notes, I still watch different YouTubers that does market breakdown for myself. I still watch because that's something that keeps me on my game, right? It keeps me honest, right? Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with what somebody else is saying. I've seen a lot of bull jive on this app. I'm not gonna. I will never name anybody's names or anybody's channel or whatever. I'm not about that life, right? But I do see a lot of bull jive where people are talking about either we're going to crash or we're going to go to an all-time high, and the story changes every single day. All right. And you guys know when I come here, I told you guys exactly what I did. So if you took notes, if you have been taking notes and say, oh, today he said he bought puts on this and whatever, tomorrow when he comes, we're going to see exactly how that plays out. You guys should be able to see exactly how that plays out. Again, if you have any questions, I appreciate you guys. I'm seeing the likes going up. I appreciate you guys giving me those thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Again, if you have not subscribed yet, and you're watching on replay, first of all, I want to say thank you. And second, I want to remind you guys to subscribe and click the notification bell so when I drop videos or when I go live, you do not miss those videos either. Now, let's go into 4 hour. Let's dig in. Let's dig in, guys. Let's go into 4 hour time frame. Man, it's already 9:35. Time fly when you're having fun. Digging in the 4 hour time frame, it is the exact pattern. That's the thing. I'm going to go over that very quick because the patterns are very, very similar, and we went over them yesterday. Double top with a lower high, and we push down again where we are right now. It seems like we are doing what? Not really a pattern. I think that moves that double top is now completed. This was our neckline. That's the levels we were watching. This has already been completed. Doesn't mean it cannot keep going down further. It just means the double top move is now complete. All right. That pattern by itself has been completed. That's the only thing. All right. Let me see. I do have a question here. What other channels do you watch for breakdowns? My brother, That's a good question, but I don't name other channels on this channel, unfortunately. But I do watch other people. Unfortunately, that's something I come in and do live, because one, it's a lot of things. People are weird. Some people might see that as, hey, you're trying to gain some sort of light by mentioning their channels on your channel and whatever and stuff like that. So I don't mention anybody else's channel on my channel, but I do watch other channels. Um, let's see. Going on the 2 hour time frame. Once again, not much. I'm going to switch over to the VIX. Let's take a look at the VIX. The VIX did what? This is what I was telling you guys. Exactly. The VIX is doing exactly what I told you guys most likely was going to happen. Why? Simply because the VIX was near the VIX was the way it was setting up. I believe was it the 30 minutes or the 2 hour time frame we were looking at. We were having a nice consolidation pattern being formed, and this was being formed very near a support level while the MACD was crossing up. Now we still have this zone that this needs to take, but this is the thing. I'm gonna put this as our anchor. This is our trend line, so that means we're pushing up, right? Can I even take that even lower? If I can even just take this here. There you go. Now this is our trend line. So as of right now, as long as we're on top of this, I can see us keep on rising. All right. We may do this. We may keep on rising. All right. Now once the trend line has flipped, we can look at that and talk about it and say, hey, what exactly is going on? Let's see what happens, yada yada, and all this kind of stuff. But in the 30 minutes right now, the VIX looks like it's taking a bit of a breather, but as of right now, it's still making a higher low. It has not reversed yet, but these are higher lows. This was our low here, a higher low, and right now this is making a higher low. Again, this is in positive territory. Now it's crossing down. It seems like it's doing a double tap in the MACD. It looks like it wants to cross down, but sometimes these things fake out and they just do this and not really cross down. So if it can cross down, that might be a good thing. That again, that is the 2 hour, the 30 minutes in the VIX. All right, let's go to that's the 2 hour time frame. 2 hours. 2 hours giving us exactly what we talked about yesterday. It actually did cross up. That's the one thing we were talking about, the possibility of having that crossing up and keep on pushing up. So this actually crossed up, and right now we are still pushing up. This is what the VIX is currently doing. All right, we're still pushing up. Let me see, 4 hour time frame. We're just moving on up, slowly moving on up. Not much different. Let's see. All right, Lance, I appreciate your understanding, man. I appreciate your understanding. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin is doing. Is there anything new, anything better than the stuff we saw before? Again, I don't like it. I do not one bit. Right now, this is bad for me as of right now. It's not the move is not confirmed. Move is not confirmed. But what exactly are you guys seeing here? Let me just use this tool. I've told you guys about this tool before. I think this tool make things a lot clearer for you guys. So this is what we have right here. This is our head. This is the shoulder. So this is the move that this would most likely do. This is the head and shoulder pattern. This is as clear as day. All right. Now it might look a little murky, so let me just take it off because it might make the chart look a little murky. But this is what this is doing. This is the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We heading down. The one good thing I would say on that, the trend line is still holding. All right, we still, excuse me, we're still above the trend line. That's a positive. We're still above the trend line. However, we are getting into dangerous territory because why? We having a cross down, meaning a lower low in the MACD, cross down, which would give us a bearish divergence into negative territory, which might most likely will have us push further down. This is the setup that's being done. It is not complete. Again, this is not a complete setup, but right now this is what's developing. All right, that's what's developing. If that develops and plays out, Bitcoin we might be in for some tough time for Bitcoin holders right now. Let's see. Last thing I want to look at, because this is one of those things that's really moving the market. Actually, let me just add this to the list right now. Um, Let me add crude oil futures right here. All right, crude oil is I'm also going to add USO. Okay, oil futures is not popping up. Why? Because the administration is doing, they are, one thing I'll say, right. I think this whole Iran war was stupid and ridiculous. I think it was dumb. Personally, I'm not a fan of war because people die in wars. All right, it's a miserable thing. Because we're not there, we don't see it. People are actually losing family members. All right, everybody who died had someone who loved them. They were somebody's son, somebody's sister, someone's mom, someone's cousins, someone's father, and so on. All right, so that's why I despise war. Now, I'm not a pacifist. I'm not saying if somebody come and punch you in the nose, you walk away. No. Everyone knows, like, I'm Haitian. I have Haitian blood, so I'm the type. I see things differently. You fight fire with fire. But anyway, one thing I would say, they are doing every single thing they can do since they made these horrible decisions to go to war to make sure crude oil do not go above $100. It's about fake headlines that I don't know if they have a couple of people just working and say, what kind of fake headline we can come up with today to manipulate the market. It is straight market manipulation, but as consumers, as traders, it's not good. I'm gonna be honest with that. As traders, it's not good, right? The market losing its integrity is not good. But as American consumers, crude oil remaining below 100 is actually good for us. Now, how long can they keep that charade on up? I don't know. Eventually, people gotta say, "Hey, you know what? You gotta put up." We've been buying time since. Let me see, since when? Since we had this initial pop, that was like what, March 26th? No, March 11th. March 11th, since we had this March 9th, since we had this big pop, we've just been giving the market a bunch of ridiculous thing about ceasefire. We ongoing talks. There's a ceasefire. There's this. There's that, and all these type of things we keep giving the market as reasons why crude oil should not be going up and things like that, including removing sanction on Russian oil, um, or as Scott Besson put it, doing the jujitsu 4D chess move by removing sections on Iran's oil, like 4D chess move on Iran's oil. I mean, this is the country we're at war with, so we're gonna help them make more money so they can use to build more weapons to fight us. But hey, at some point, at that point, it is whatever they can do to make sure they keep oil prices off. And I want to remind you guys once again, as a trader, if you are trading the stock market, if you are long oil futures, you don't like it. And I completely sympathize with that. You don't like it, and it's not fair to you, because that was a good trade, and they are killing the trade in your hands. On the other hand, guys, oil being above 120 to 125 for a couple of days means we are automatically plunging into a horrible, horrible recession. I don't know if you guys are aware what's being circulated right now. There are members in the Fed considering hiking interest rates again. Not a cut, a hike. Can you guys imagine what that would do to the stock market and the economy if we start having interest rate hikes? This is why it is so pivotal to keep oil prices down. And these guys are doing everything they can. I guarantee you tomorrow there's going to be some headlines that come out and you're like, I don't believe this. But guess what? What I keep telling you guys, The algorithm do not know what's true and what's not. It's just like, hey, this is official document or official release from the government. Therefore, I'm looking for keywords. Is this bullish? Is this bearish? If it's bullish, we're buying. That's what the algos do. They don't know. They don't judge on false narrative or not. Now, the fact that they are AI and they learn, how long will they learn to say, hey, we shouldn't take this seriously if it's coming from specific groups? I don't know. Maybe they did not cut them to have reason. They did not program them to have reasoning involved. Maybe that's what it is. Now, while oil futures are not doing well, if you actually bought the USO, the U.S. States Oil Fund, um, even though it's not winning as much as it should, you're still doing okay. You are still doing okay because it's creeping up slowly but surely. It is creeping up. So this is why I'm not buying oil futures and whatever. What I'm doing actually is buying specific companies, right? So like a Chevron, ExxonMobil, and so forth, because those companies have oil rigs all over the place. They drilling for oil all over the place. This is why I have those companies. I go into those companies instead. Whether it's Valero, which other one I typically use, ExxonMobil and Chevron. These are the companies I pretty much use. All right, and USO is not doing bad either. If you buying USO, I don't particularly trade that. I just wanted to bring that up for you guys. I don't particularly trade it because to me this is not a chart I can read. It's not as liquid as it should be for me. This is something that's really have no volume unless there's some really really bad geopolitical issues where you'll see a volume spike on it. So I don't really trade that much because especially if you buy in options, it makes it a little tougher for you to get in and out. The spread is very wide, so I try staying completely away from that stuff. All right. What else I did not cover? I believe I covered everything for you guys. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. I gotta wrap it up because I have to meet with those guys as part of the group. Again, thanks again, guys. If you are here, I wanna remind you guys again. Every single day that you made it through, I'm going to say congratulations. Every single day you make it through. If you survive today, once again, if you survive today, if you still have a trading account, an active trading account that have some money in it that allows you to trade tomorrow. That means you survive today. Whether or not you lose, tomorrow is a new day. Move on. Don't if you made bad mistakes, if you take bad trades today, don't come back tomorrow and take those. Make sure you review your trades. Make sure you are documenting and you are journaling your trades. You reviewing your trades to make sure that you follow your plan. It is POP over here. This is our motto. It's POP. It's process over profit. You follow the process, the profits will follow. Stick to your trading plan. Be patient. Don't be greedy. Don't be too crazy. And as usual, I tell you guys every single time, it is get in, get green, get out. All right? Get in, get green, get out. All right? And this is what I add to that. If you can go into display, you take, let's say you take, all you could take is 150. Take it, go back on the sideline. Next trade, maybe next trade does a little better. It gives you 300. All right? Or let's say, let me lowball you. Only gives you 250. So now you're at $400, right? Take it, stay on the sideline, wait for the next play. Say you take another one. It only gives you about $100. So now that's $500 for the day. Think about how we have nearly about 220 trading days in the market every single year, give or take. What I just described to you right there, $500 a day, taking base hits, this is a salary of nearly 100 grand. Think about the freedom you have, the stress-free life you can have. I'm not saying trading is not stressful, but not having to deal with, hey, am I going to keep my jobs? Maybe I'm on a performance improvement plan. Maybe this boss doesn't like me. This customer talks to me a certain way. Just think about being able to bring in just $500. I don't want you to just see it as $500 that day, so it's not enough, right? Look at it how much it would mean to you on a weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, yearly basis, and then you can see exactly how you can build. And again, as usual, I want to remind you guys, if you don't want to trade with your own money, trade with a prop firm. I'm affiliated with Apex, so you can go on Apex Trading, use the code POP so you can get the current promotion. I believe right now it's 80% off for the evaluation. Again, you take an evaluation, it will cost you between $20 and $40. You take an evaluation. If you want to take a 50K account, right? Make sure you are going to use something where you're going to trade with stuff that you know. I use the TradeOvate accounts because the TradeOvate accounts you can connect that with TradingView. So when you click here, right? If I click buy, I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. If I click buy, you see this broker list shows up. I have TradeOvate here, and I can easily trade with TradeOvate, connect TradeOvate with TradingView. I can do my trading there. This is why I use TradeOvate. If you use a different system, that's okay. If you use a different system, but I was letting you know this is what I trade. Again, you can do that with Apex. Pass the eval. Once you pass the eval, there's an activation fee. But if you fail the eval, all you lost was $30 or $40, right? Watch it. It's $30, $40. So that's all you lose. Leverage somebody else's money. All right. Use other people's money. OPM. That's the motto. OPM. Leverage other people's money. All right, guys. Take care. I'm taking way too much time from you guys right now. To those of you guys that are part of the community, I will be on Teams shortly. I know it's getting a little late. We're very close to 10, but I will be on even if it's not for long, for a very short time. I will be on. If you are here again, remember to give me a thumbs up. Give me those likes up before you leave. Give me those likes before you leave, guys. Come on now. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night. Be blessed. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's been great. Peace out.